this afternoon, but time now to introduce our first hour feature guests. I'm very happy to say we're joined by Tracy Wilkinson and Andrea Lund from the Cambridge Children's Charity Week. Good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for coming along. Beautiful days. It looks warm, looks a bit warm and blustery out there, but nice, isn't it, across
lovely
the
spring day.
County? I don't get outside much after 9 o'clock, so I need to...
You really should.
Yeah, tell my guest what it's. Ask my guest what it's like. Now, you're from Cambridge Children's Charity Week. Now, you're a baby, really, aren't you? You haven't been going for very long.
Yeah, well, we're 3. We're in our 3rd year of
Congratulations.
fundraising. Yes.
Just make sure you behave yourselves.
We'll try.
So it started in 2016. Well, why did it start, first of all?
Well, it started because one of the founders, a lady called Carol Boston, was a business connector for business in the community.
Okay.
And
what's one of those when it's at home?
Well, essentially looking for how people, businesses, charities can be better connected. I guess the clue is in the title there. But so her role, she was looking at how charities could connect more with businesses and how that connection could be more fruitful. So she's got a background from Lloyd's Bank, and she spoke to many charities, and they said, we don't want people volunteering to sort of come and dig gardens. What we need is really basic money for core running costs. So things like insurance, things that are really boring like travel costs, even sandwich toasters, which is what Romsey Mill are spending some of the money on, because actually for them that means that they can have relationships with their beneficiaries that is surrounded by around making something to eat together, and without that sandwich toaster they wouldn't be able to have those benefits.
And you need money to buy that stuff.
Yes,
and not to take
things.
anything away, I know that's not what you're saying, by people who do volunteer a few hours here and there looking after gardens and things like that, because that is still invaluable as well.
But I guess we're a bit different in that as we're a group of 9 volunteers, and how we work is we mobilise people in business, in churches, in schools, and philanthropists to actually do something that works for them. So we've got some examples that we'll tell you about in due course, but we're energising people to think, well, yes, I'd love to have a bake sale, I'd love to do something fun like a fun run, or I'm going to host an exhibition. Anything goes, and it's about giving something back to people in Cambridge and those small charities that nobody's ever heard of.
And you're like a one-stop shop for all children's charities, then, are you? You have this big week of fundraising, gather all this big pots of gold, and then share it out across the children's charities.
Yes, so in our first year we raised about 7,500, which we were delighted with, but even more so our second year we nearly reached 23,000, and we had an awards ceremony in February this year hosted by St John's College School, and we awarded 23 charities small awards towards their running costs, and each of them then told their story about how they were going to spend the money.
So you'll make 60,000 this year then, if you continue.
Well, with
I'm
your
just looking
help,
at that
Jeremy,
graph.
who knows?
Just looking at that graph, 7, 30, 60.
We would love to. We would really love to. We'll make a lot of people happy.
And you do this during 1 week, just 1 week of the year then?
Well, we focus our activity in that particular week, which is the 2nd to the 10th of June. But a lot of we can describe a couple of projects that have a shelf life beyond that, but that's where we really concentrate our efforts. But yes, we had money come in right into the end of last year, which we then were able to award in February. So we're busy all year round, but we focus attention in that first week in June.
And who are some of the charities that you've been divvying this money out to? So all children's charities.
Yes.
And that was key for you, was it?
Absolutely key, yes.
So one of the charities is the Red Hen Project, which is a very small local charity.
The Red Hen Project.
And it was really exciting to help them because they're quite small, they're relatively unknown in the area, and they work with 5 primary schools in north of Cambridge, and their work involves supporting children and their families to overcome barriers for learning and provide a link from school and home, so that support that they need to keep on going.
And why children's charities then? Why do you want to focus on them particularly?
It's a good question, and probably because it's something that everybody who volunteers with us, it really resonates with them, actually helping youngsters who, Cambridge is such an affluent city and yet there's such deprived areas as well, and I think wanting to give back to support children to have richer lives was at the heart of what all of us wanted to achieve.
Yeah,
and there are so many children. We've helped 29 charities in our 2 years of giving away awards, and most of those 29 I hadn't heard of before becoming involved in this particular, this initiative. And and I'm just one person who wouldn't have heard of them. So we're kind of making some noise on behalf of those really tiny charities, because they don't have marketing machines like Cancer Research and like all these other bigger charities like Age UK. They don't have that huge resource, which is a big pot of money.
Yeah, well, there was a report not too long ago we broadcast all across the county with Peterborough, Huntingdon, Royston, but there was a report on Cambridge which said that there was the biggest gap, wasn't there? The biggest divide between rich and poor in one city here in this country.
And in fact, actually, you raise a really good point, because Citrix, as one of the businesses that has supported us from year one, they are aware, they're just over the road here, aren't they, on the Science Park, and within a mile radius it's children are living in poverty and have very deprived areas, and we've been able to help the brownies and the guides groups because their parents haven't got the money to even pay for a weekly attendance of brownies.
Stay with us. We'll find out more about one. But our guests this afternoon are from the Cambridge Children's Charity Week, which is happening with June, you said, Tracy Wilkinson, didn't you?
From the 2nd to the 10th of June.
Andrea Lund is here as well. You're both volunteers, so you run this charity week annual fundraising event on top of whatever else you've got going
in
on
our evenings.
Yes, in our evenings, our weekends, our spare time.
Well, it's good to keep busy, isn't
Definitely.
it?
No, it's really nice to be able to do something that puts money back into the local charities.
So you'd love our listeners to come along and support the events that you've got lined up. We'll mention those. Also, I guess if you're an employee or you run a local business, it's that's a great relationship you can have, because local companies want to get involved with charities, don't they?
Certainly. We had our first year, we had a local bakery bake a cake for one of the bake sales. So her contribution was baking the cake that we could raffle off in one of the events. So that's really exciting. We can get involved in any way.
But quite often it's called, sort of waving my fingers around, corporate responsibility.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. But our motto is do what works for you as well. So whether you are in a business or you're someone that works or lives or in the city or supporting it.
But quite often companies they'll let employees go off for a couple of days and work with local charities.
That's certainly the case for Citrix, and we're delighted they're joining us for a third year.
So it's a local software company, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
Or locally based, yeah.
And they see it as part of their awareness to attract talent and software engineers who are quite a discerning group of individuals who actually see corporate social responsibility as an important part of their job. And they've come up with this fantastic idea whereby they had an escape room that was in a fixed location for teams to challenge to solve puzzles. And what they're doing this year is they're making it portable. Now, that sounds a bit crazy to me, but...
And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's where they lock you in a room for an hour and you have to solve the clues to find the key to get out,
exactly,
isn't it?
Yes.
Which is fun, apparently.
It is fun. Take it from me. I had to go last year. But so there's an iPad in a box, and then the iPad recognises where you are and sends you messages, and then it's a little bit like a treasure hunt on the move, and all sorts of different clues will come via the iPad, as well as solving physical puzzles that are contained in the box. So that's as much as I know at the moment.
It's not. Hang on, you say it's mobile. It's
yes,
what you
portable escape room.
But it's not
concept.
Actually moving whilst you're not in the back of a lorry, are you?
No, but you could be on the back of a bike.
Oh, okay.
I think it will walk around the Science Park essentially.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Other events you've got a children's arts.
Absolutely,
exhibition.
yes.
What's that?
So the theme behind this is children helping children, which is at the heart of what we want to achieve. So children are painting A4 canvases, and Bayard Art, which is on King's Parade in the centre of Cambridge, this beautiful exhibition site, are going to be displaying their artwork for tourists, parents to come and see their art on display. And then the artwork will be for sale at the end of the week, and every penny will go towards the children's charities that we support.
St John's College have chosen you as their Charity of the Year. So big thanks to them.
St John's College School.
Yeah.
Yes, so we're their Charity of the Year, which is fantastic. So they've already had their Oliver show, so they've raised nearly £900 for that so far. So we're really, really grateful to be their Charity of the Year.
And Michael House, what are they up to?
Oh, well, the lovely Lois is one of our team. She works for Kettle's Yard, and art is at the heart of her passion. And she's created an art exhibition for local upcoming artists to display their work at Michael House. The exhibition starts on the 4th of June and runs to the 15th. But there's a special opening night on the Thursday, the 7th of June, and that's in the evening and with refreshments, and there will be a raffle, all sorts of fun things going on, and some live music. So it should be a really fun evening. That's 6:30 till 8 o'clock, I believe, on the 7th of June. So everybody's welcome.
So you have this big fundraising drive. This is its third year. You do it for a week and then divvy the money out to local children's charities. Have you been able to sort of see the difference that money has made to these charities?
Simple things like covering insurance costs, but these charities are so small but doing amazing work. Some of them have been around for 20 years, but nobody's ever heard of them. An example of that, I just wanted a note here. Yes, the Cambridge Holiday Play Schemes is nearly 20 years old, and they create holiday breaks for disadvantaged children. And we're just helping them, cover some basic costs.
And keep going.
Yeah, and just keep going. Yes, they rely on money coming in from sources that are no longer available, and that's the big issue. That councils used to have pots of money available. There used to be big charities who will award funds, and more and more charities are chasing smaller and smaller pots. So we're helping to fill the gap.
Well, thank you for doing so. I mean, it's great work that you're doing. How can we support you? How do we find out more about the events and what you've got going on, and how we can keep going?
Yeah, so please get in touch. So we have a Twitter account and a Facebook account, and on our website is camccweek.org. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to see pictures, or send us a tweet, post on our page on Facebook, and hope to hear from you.
Yeah, and come along to the events, come along to the 2 exhibitions, maybe get involved, get in touch with Citrix and have a go with their portable escape room.
Excellent stuff. The website, once again, allthews.camccweek.org. That's CAMCC Week, all one word, camccweek.org. Tracy Wilkinson and Andrea Lund, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
This afternoon.
Thank you.
At ease, you can rest at ease now. It's just gone 19.